Contract Marriage Chapter 3. The secret he couldn't hide. Kai knew something was wrong. Not immediately. Not in a way he could explain. But his body felt different. He stood in the bathroom, staring at his reflection, one hand resting unconsciously against his stomach. His breathing was uneven. Too fast. Too shallow. "You're overthinking," he whispered to himself. But even as he said it, his heart didn't believe it. The nausea started 3 days ago. Small at first. Easy to ignore. But now, it wasn't. Kai leaned over the sink, gripping the edge tightly as another wave hit him. His stomach twisted. And before he could stop it, he threw up. Again. "Sir?" Kai flinched at the voice. One of the house staff stood by the door, concern written all over her face. "Are you all right?" Kai wiped his mouth quickly, forcing a smile. "I'm fine. A lot. I'll bring you some tea." "You don't have to," but she was already gone. Kai exhaled slowly, his hand returning to his stomach. Something wasn't right. Not yet. Not fully. But his body knew. His heart knew. And that scared him more than anything. A sudden knock on the door made him jump. "Kai." "Adrian." His voice. Controlled. Familiar. Kai froze. Opened the door. Panic surged instantly. He quickly grabbed the test, shoving it back into the box, hiding it beneath the sink. "Kai." Adrian's voice sharpened slightly. Kai forced himself to move, unlocking the door. Adrian stepped in immediately, his eyes scanning Kai's face. "You look pale." "I'm fine." Adrian frowned. "That's the second time you said that today." Kai looked away. "I just didn't sleep well." Silence. Then Adrian stepped closer. Too close. His presence overwhelming. "Look at me." Kai hesitated. Then slowly he did. And that was his mistake. Because Adrian saw it. The fear. The panic. The truth Kai was trying so hard to hide. "What's wrong?" Adrian asked quietly. Kai shook his head. "Nothing." Another lie. Adrian didn't believe it. Not for a second. His gaze hardened slightly. "You're a terrible liar." Kai's chest tightened. Why did that sound familiar? Why did that hurt more than it should? Adrian reached out, his hand stopping just before touching Kai's face. Then slowly, he brushed his fingers against Kai's cheek. Gentle. Unexpected. "Something's wrong," he said softly. "And you're not telling me." Kai's breath trembled. Because he couldn't. Not yet. Not when he didn't even understand it himself. Not when saying it out loud would make it real. "I said I'm fine," Kai whispered. Adrian's eyes darkened. "You're not." The room felt smaller. The air heavier. And for the first time, Kai realized something dangerous. Adrian was paying attention. Too much attention. "I have a meeting," Adrian said after a moment, stepping back. But his eyes didn't leave Kai. "Rest." Kai nodded. "Okay." Adrian paused at the door. Then, "If you need anything." He didn't finish. But the meaning was clear. Kai swallowed. "I won't." Adrian left anyway. The moment the door closed, Kai collapsed onto the bed. His hand immediately went to his stomach. His breathing uneven again. "I can't tell him." The words came out rushed. Panicked. "I can't." Because this wasn't just his secret. This was their child. And Adrian? Adrian only saw this marriage as a contract. A deal. Temporary. Kai's fingers curled tightly into the sheets. Tears filled his eyes. What am I going to do? Because one thing was certain: if Adrian found out, everything would change. That night Kai didn't sleep. Because now, he wasn't just living in a contract anymore. He was living with a secret. One that could either bring them closer, or destroy everything between them. And just like that, a contract marriage became something far more complicated. Because now the question is, what happens when a secret like this comes to light? If you're hooked already, like, subscribe to Narites, and comment. Chapter 4, if you want more, because trust me, Adrian finding out? That's when everything changes. Chapter 4, the things he started to notice. Adrian noticed everything. He always had. It was part of who he was: control, precision, awareness. Nothing in his space changed without him knowing. So when Kai started acting differently, he saw it immediately. It was subtle at first. Too subtle for anyone else to question. But Adrian? He paid attention. Kai wasn't eating properly. Meals left untouched. Excuses given too quickly. I'm not hungry. I ate earlier. I'm fine. Always the same answer. Always the same lie. Adrian stood at the dining table, his gaze fixed on Kai as he pushed food around his plate. You've barely eaten. Kai didn't look up. I said I'm fine. Adrian leaned back slightly. You've been fine for 3 days now. Kai's hand stilled. Just for a second. Then continued. I'm just tired. Another lie. Adrian's jaw tightened. It wasn't just the food. It was everything. The way Kai avoided eye contact. The way he moved slower. Carefully. Like he was trying to hide something. Adrian didn't like not knowing. And right now, he didn't know. Later that evening, Kai thought he was alone. He wasn't. He stood in the bathroom again, gripping the sink as another wave of nausea hit him. His breathing was uneven. Just breathe. Just breathe. But his body didn't listen. He turned quickly, too late. Adrian saw everything. From the doorway. Silent. Unmoving. Watching. Kai froze the moment he realized. His heart dropped instantly. Adrian, what's going on? The question was calm. Too calm. Dangerously calm. Kai shook his head quickly. It's nothing, don't? That one word stopped him. Adrian stepped closer. Slow. Measured. His eyes sharp. Focused. You're sick. Kai swallowed. I'll be fine. You've been saying that. Adrian stopped right in front of him. Close enough to notice everything. The pale skin. The trembling hands. The fear. You've been throwing up. Kai's breath caught. Don't lie. The tone changed. Not loud. Not angry. But firm. Commanding. Kai's chest tightened. Because he couldn't lie anymore. Not convincingly. Not to him. It's probably just stress, Kai said quietly. Adrian stared at him. Long unmoving. Then, since when does stress make you like this? Kai had no answer. The silence stretched. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Then Adrian reached out again. This time he didn't stop himself. His hand pressed lightly against Kai's forehead. Warm. Gentle. Unexpected. Kai froze. You're not feverish, Adrian murmured. But his hand didn't move. It lingered. Just for a second longer than necessary. Kai's heart started racing. Because this wasn't part of the contract. I said I'm fine, Kai whispered. Adrian's eyes dropped slightly. Not to his face. But lower. To his stomach. And something in his expression changed. Kai noticed. And panic hit instantly. He stepped back. Too quickly. Creating distance. Breaking the moment. I just need rest, Kai added quickly. Adrian didn't respond immediately. He was thinking. Analyzing. Putting pieces together. And Kai could see it. That was what scared him the most. Adrian wasn't stupid. He wasn't careless. He noticed patterns. Changes. Details. And right now he was starting to notice too much. Have you seen a doctor? Kai shook his head immediately. No. You should. I said I'm fine. Adrian's gaze hardened slightly. You keep saying that. Silence. Again. But this time it wasn't empty. It was building. Adrian stepped closer once more, lowering his voice slightly. Then prove it. Kai's breath hitched. What? Go to the doctor. Kai froze. Because that was the one thing he couldn't do. I don't need to, Kai said quickly. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Why not? I don't. That's not an answer. Kai's chest tightened painfully. Why does it matter so much to you? The question slipped out before he could stop it. And the moment it did, everything shifted. Adrian went still. Completely still. Like even he didn't expect that question. Because you're my responsibility, he said finally. Cool. Controlled. Safe. Kai's heart sank. Responsibility. Of course. That's all this was. That's all he was. Right? Kai whispered. Then stop making it difficult. The words were sharp, but not harsh. Just distant. Kai looked away, because it was easier than letting Adrian see what that did to him. Fine, Kai said quietly. I'll go. Adrian studied him, as if trying to decide whether to believe him. Then, good. But something in his eyes said otherwise, because deep down Adrian knew. Kai was hiding something, and it wasn't small. That night Adrian didn't sleep, because for the first time since this marriage began, something didn't add up. And Adrian? He always found the truth, no matter how well it wasn't just like that. A secret became a suspicion. But the real question is, what happens when Adrian finally finds out the truth? If you're hooked already, like, subscribe to Narites and comment. Chapter 5, if you want more, because trust me, the next chapter, everything starts to fall apart. The word pregnant didn't leave Kai's head. Stayed there, echoing louder with every second that passed. Even after he left the hospital. Even after he sat in the car beside Adrian. Even after they returned home. It didn't fade. It didn't soften. It only became more real. Kai walked ahead the moment they stepped inside, his movements slightly rushed, slightly uneven. I'm tired, he said quietly. Adrian didn't stop him, but his eyes followed him. Careful. Sure. Watching. Rest, Adrian replied. Simple. But his tone? It wasn't. Kai closed the bedroom door behind him and leaned against it, his breathing uneven. His hand slowly moved to his stomach again, as if he needed to feel it, confirm it. I'm pregnant. The words came out softer this time, more fragile, more real. A knock came suddenly. Kai froze. Kai. Adrian. His voice. Close. Too close. Kai's heart started racing instantly. I'm fine, he called out quickly. Too quickly. Silence. Then, open the door. Kai didn't move, because opening that door meant facing him. Facing his eyes. And Adrian saw too much. Kai. The tone changed slightly. Lower. More firm. Kai swallowed hard. Then slowly, he moved, unlocking the door. Adrian stepped in immediately. His gaze landed on Kai's face, and stayed there. You're pale. I'm fine. That's the third time you've said that today. Kai looked away. I just need rest. Adrian didn't respond immediately. Instead he stepped closer. Slow. Measured. Intentional. Something happened in that room. Not a question. A statement. Kai's chest tightened. I told you it's nothing. You don't lie well. That again. That same line. And this time it hit differently. Kai forced a small breath. I said I'm fine. Adrian's eyes dropped. Again. To his stomach. Kai noticed. And panic surged instantly. He stepped back. Too quickly. Breaking whatever moment that was building. I'm going to sleep, Kai said quickly. Adrian didn't move. Didn't stop him. But his eyes didn't soften either. Fine, Adrian said finally. But the word didn't feel like agreement. It felt like pause. Because Adrian wasn't done. Not even close. That night Kai didn't sleep. He lay on his side, facing away from the door, his hand resting protectively over his stomach. Every thought felt heavier now. More complicated. More dangerous. What was he supposed to do? Tell Adrian? Watch everything fall apart? Or hide it? And pretend nothing changed? But everything had changed. Everything. Across the hall, Adrian was awake. He sat in his office, the lights dim, his expression unreadable. But his mind was working. You don't lie well. The way Kai avoided his eyes. The way he stepped back. The way he reacted when Adrian looked at him. And then those words. I can't let him find out. Adrian's jaw tightened slightly. Find out what? He didn't like not knowing. He didn't like missing pieces. And right now there were too many. By morning he had made a decision. If Kai wouldn't tell him the truth, he would find it himself. The next few days changed everything. Kai tried to act normal. Tried to eat. Tried to speak. Tried to exist like nothing had happened. But his body didn't cooperate. The nausea didn't stop. The exhaustion didn't fade. And the fear? It only grew. Adrian noticed everything. The untouched food. The slower movements. The way Kai avoided being too close. You didn't eat. Kai didn't look up. I'm not hungry. Eat. I said I'm fine. Adrian's patience thinned. You keep saying that. Kai's hand tightened slightly. I am. No, Adrian said quietly. You're not. Silence. Heavy. Sure. Kai stood abruptly. I'm going to my room. Adrian didn't stop him. But this time his eyes followed him with something new. Not just suspicion. Something deeper. Possessiveness. The house didn't feel the same anymore. Because now one of them was hiding something. And the other was actively looking for it. Chapter 6. The truth he was chasing. The house no longer felt the same. It hadn't, ever since that day at the hospital. Not because anything had changed on the surface, but because everything beneath it had. Kai moved carefully now. Too carefully. Every step measured. Every word chosen. Every glance avoided. And Adrian noticed all of it. He always did. You didn't eat. Kai's hand stilled slightly over his plate. I'm not hungry. Eat. I said I'm fine. Silence stretched across the dining room. Heavy. Sure. Uncomfortable. Adrian stood slowly. The sound of the chair against the floor echoed louder than it should have. Then he walked toward Kai. Slow. Intentional. Kai felt it before he even looked up. That presence. That weight. You're not fine. Adrian's voice was low. Controlled. But there was something else beneath it now. Something darker. Kai swallowed. I said I am. Adrian's gaze dropped. Again. To his stomach. Kai's breath caught. And this time he didn't step back. He froze. Why do you keep doing that? Kai asked quietly. Doing what? Looking at me like something is wrong. Pause. Because something is. Kai shook his head. You're imagining things. Adrian stepped closer. Too close. I don't imagine things. Silence. Kai turned away. Because he couldn't handle it. Not like this. Not when Adrian was getting too close to the truth. I'm tired, Kai said softly. Adrian let him go. But his eyes didn't leave him. That was the problem. Adrian wasn't letting it go. That night, everything shifted. Because Adrian got the call. I got something. Adrian stood still, phone pressed to his ear. Say it. Pause. Pregnancy test. Silence. Positive. The word settled heavily. Cold. Final. Adrian didn't move. Didn't react. Not visibly. But inside, everything sharpened. Pregnant. It explained everything. The sickness. The distance. The fear. Kai wasn't hiding something small. He was hiding this. Adrian ended the call slowly. His jaw tightening. The only question now was why. Transition into Chapter 7. The truth had been uncovered. But it hadn't been spoken. And that was about to change. Kai. Kai froze the moment he heard his name. Adrian stood at the doorway. So. Come. Unreadable. We need to talk. Kai's heart started racing. About what? Adrian stepped inside, closing the door behind him. Don't lie to me. Kai's breath caught. I'm not. Stop. That one word cut through everything. Adrian stepped closer. Slow. Controlled. You're pregnant. Silence. Kai didn't move. Didn't breathe. Didn't think. Because Adrian knew. How? He whispered. Adrian didn't answer. What matters, Adrian said quietly, is why you didn't tell me. Kai's chest tightened painfully. I didn't know how. You weren't going to. Kai looked away. Because he couldn't deny it. I was scared. The words came out softer this time. More honest. Adrian went still. Of me? Kai didn't answer. But he didn't need to. The silence said everything. Adrian stepped back slowly. running a hand through his hair. For the first time he looked unsettled. Not controlled. Not distant. Human. Then his gaze returned. Sharper now. Whose is it? Kai's eyes widened. What? Adrian stepped forward again. Whose is it? Each word slow. Precise. Kai's chest tightened. Yours. Silence. Heavy. Adrian stared at him. Searching. Reading. You're sure? Kai nodded. Yes. Another pause. And then something changed. Because Adrian moved. Fast. Grabbing Kai's wrist. Pulling him closer. You were going to hide my child from me? Kai's breath trembled. I didn't know what to do. That's not an answer. Kai's voice broke. I was scared. The words echoed. And just like that, everything stopped. Adrian's grip loosened slightly. Of me, he repeated quietly. Kai looked away. And that was answer enough. The truth had finally been spoken. And now there was no going back. Chapter 8. What comes after the truth? The house felt different. Not quiet. Heavy. Kai stayed in his room. Not because he wanted to, but because he didn't know how to face Adrian anymore. Silence. And you still have me. That broke something in Kai. Because for the first time, Adrian didn't sound like this was a contract. He sounded like this was real. And just like that, the truth came out. And everything changed. But the real question is, will this bring them closer? Or tear them apart? If you felt this story, like, subscribe to Narite's comment. Next part, because trust me, this story is far from over. Final chapter. The choice he made. Nothing felt the same after that night. Not the house. Not the silence. Not the space between them. Kai woke up to emptiness. The other side of the bed untouched. Cold. For a moment he thought maybe Adrian regretted it. Everything. The truth. The confrontation. Him. Kai sat up slowly, his hand resting on his stomach again, his thoughts heavy. Of course he does. He whispered it like he was trying to accept it before it hurt more. Because why wouldn't he? This marriage wasn't built on love. It was a contract. A deal. Temporary. And now there was a child. Kai swallowed hard. His chest tightening painfully. Maybe this was where it ended. The thought settled in his mind like something inevitable. A knock came. Kai froze. Kai. Adrian. His voice calm. But different. Kai hesitated before opening the door. Adrian stood there. Already dressed. Already composed. But his eyes, they weren't the same. We need to talk. Kai nodded slowly. Stepping aside. They stood in the middle of the room. The distance between them smaller than before, but heavier. I've been thinking. Kai's chest tightened instantly. Of course he had. Adrian always thought things through. Always made decisions logically. This situation, Kai's fingers curled slightly. Changes everything. Kai nodded faintly. I know. And I don't like things I can't control. That hurt more than Kai expected. Of course. Control. That was what this was about. I understand, Kai said quietly. Adrian's jaw tightened slightly. No. Kai blinked. You don't. Silence. Then Adrian stepped closer. Not rushed. Not forceful. Intentional. This isn't just about control anymore. Kai looked at him. Confused. Then what is it about? Pause. A real one. Like Adrian was choosing his words carefully. For the first time. His voice lowered slightly. I'm not making a decision based on logic. Kai's breath caught. Adrian looked at him, really looked at him. And I don't like that. A weak breath escaped Kai. Then why? Because it's you. Silence. Kai froze. Because that wasn't what he expected. Adrian exhaled slowly. I could walk away from the contract. Kai's heart dropped. I could end it. The words felt sharp. Final. And it would make everything simple again. Kai looked down. Because that was the truth. Simple. Plain. Controlled. Everything Adrian preferred. But I'm not going to. Kai's head snapped up. What? Adrian stepped closer. Close enough now that Kai couldn't avoid him. I'm staying. Kai's breath trembled. Why? The question came out softer than he expected. More fragile. More real. Adrian didn't answer immediately. Instead he reached out. Slowly. Carefully. His hand resting lightly over Kai's. Then lower. Over his stomach. Kai froze. Because that was the first time. The first time Adrian touched him like that. Not out of obligation. Not out of control. But something else. Something real. It's mine. His voice was quiet. But firm. And I'm not walking away from it. Kai's eyes filled instantly. Adrian. Adrian's gaze softened slightly. Not completely. But enough. I don't know how to do this. Honest. Bro. I don't know how to be. This. Kai's chest tightened. Then why stay? Adrian's hand remained where it was. Because leaving. For the first time he hesitated. Feels wrong. That was it. That was the truth. Not logical. Not planned. Just real. Kai's tears slipped down quietly. I was scared. Adrian nodded slightly. I know. I thought you'd reject it. Pause. Reject me. That hit. Adrian's jaw tightened slightly. I don't reject what's mine. The words came out low. Possessive. But this time they didn't feel cold. They felt protective. Kai let out a shaky breath. You're still terrifying. Adrian almost smiled. Almost. I know. Silence. But this time it wasn't heavy. It wasn't painful. It was something else. Something softer. Something new. Kai stepped closer. Closing the distance himself this time. And Adrian didn't stop him. Didn't pull away. Didn't hesitate. Because for the first time neither of them did. Outro indigeste like that. What started as a contract became something real. Not perfect. Not simple. But real. And maybe that was enough. But tell me. Would you stay? If love came from something that started as a lie? Like, subscribe to Narite's, comment your favorite moment because your next story might be even more intense.